This week in the collection.
Welcome to the channel. Today, in this video, we're going to be continuing my monthly tradition of going through the bottles of American bourbon that I've been able to pick up per month. So this video, we're going to be featuring October 2025, and we're going to go through all the bottles that I picked up that month. So if you like this sort of content, like, share, and subscribe. It really helps us out, and you can consider purchasing one of our t-shirts. There's a link for that in the description of this video. And with that being said, let's jump right into this month's haul. Our first bottle in this video is an annual limited release from Michter's Distillery, the Shenks Homestead 2025 edition. So as you can see, I haven't opened this particular bottle up, but I do have a 2020 edition, which I have opened. I find it very cherry forward, and it is a sour mash, so there's pros and cons to that. But it's not my favorite, but it's definitely not my least favorite. And if it's what's available, by all means, I'll drink it and I won't even think twice about it. It's definitely not a drain pour or anything like that by any means. Normally, these are released in conjunction with the bomb burgers as well. I find the bomb burgers to be more suited for my palate. I definitely like it more, and I think most people agree and think of it that way as well. The bomb burgers definitely goes for more in the secondary, and it's harder to find even though they're released together. I believe I paid $120 for this, and the MSRP is $110, and I did find this in the wild in a retail big chain store setting. So you can get it out there, you can find it. With that being said, let's read a little bit about what the label says. So Kentucky Sour Mash Whiskey, Shenks Homestead, Sour Batch. This one's coming at 91.2 proof or 45.6% alcohol by volume. This is bottle 1742 of 2,305. So that goes the limited release aspect of it. And this was batch 25E1901, distilled and bottled in Kentucky. And let's see here. Shenks Homestead Sour Mash Whiskey honors the legacy of American whiskey figure John Shenk, who in 1753 founded a distillery that was to become known as Michter's in the 20th century. Please join us in toasting and celebrating American whiskey history. Yeah, so this and bomb burgers, from my understanding, they have these bottles named after, like it says here, John Shenk, who had a distillery in Pennsylvania in the 1700s. And then they either bought or merged, or I don't know that specific part of the history, but they somehow merged with bomb burgers. And then bomb burgers ended up becoming Michter's, which is what we know it as to this day. So that's why they have a Shenks release, and they also have a bomb burgers release. So with all that being said, what is your all thoughts on Shenks? Is this something you seek out and you look for, and when you get it, you open it? Or are you purely looking for this or getting this for whatever secondary value it might have? Let me know in the comments. All right, our next bottle is this Dark Arts American Single Malt Whiskey. I have no idea why I bought this. This was purely an impulse buy. I'm a big fan of Dark Arts. It was one of the original bourbons that I tried. A Dark Arts maple syrup finished 7.5, and then also an 8-year that I tried about a year or two ago, and I really loved those a lot. They were, for a while, that was my favorite whiskey that I had. That's long gone. That that bottle's been finished. So ever since then, I've been trying other Dark Arts, and I went to a local liquor store where they had a store pick. They actually had several store picks, and this was one of them. So I kind of just bought it on a whim, on an impulse. It wasn't on my shopping list, definitely. I didn't even know it existed. And one thing that I noticed about this one is that it's so light compared to, most of the other bourbons and whiskeys that I have. I mean, it's just so light. I was very surprised to see that. But, willing to try it and open it up at some point. So this one is aged 7.5 years. It came in at 110.24 proof or 55.12% alcohol by volume. It's a single barrel. This is specifically bottle number 34 from batch MW8. It's 100% malted barley. I got this at Checkers Liquors, and it's part of the Miami Angel Share Society. And look, you can see on the back, it's got the cool artwork that they always provide. The Mass or Miami Angel Share Society and Checkers Liquors, they always have pretty cool artwork on their picks. And it says here liquid gold. So yeah, I don't know much about this. I haven't opened it yet, but this is definitely on my radar, and I'll add to my largely growing dark art shelf. So let me know what you think of this American malt whiskey. So similar to what I said for the dark arts, this short barrel Sapsquatch has been a release that I've really liked. So in this case, I actually picked up two. I have this particular one that I'm holding up, which is a store pick from the Miami Angel Share Society Mass and Checkers Liquors, and we'll go through that. And I also have one directly from Short Barrel, which is a distillery in Norcross, Georgia. So this has been a line that I've really liked a lot. It's a nice balance of sweet and not so sweet, which is something that I've found that I've really liked. My palate's really amenable to it. So this particular one, Sapsquatch Single Barrel Series Straight Bourbon Whiskey, finished in maple syrup barrels and toasted barrels. This one came at 117.8 proof or 58.9% volume from Short Barrel. And this is the Miami Angel Share Society 100 Men vs. 1 Sapsquatch Checkers Liquor pick. So again, like I mentioned in the dark arts, they always have pretty cool artwork on the back of their label, which probably most people do. This one also says that it is the mash bill 70-21-9 from Green River. So I understand that that's what 70% corn, 21% rye, and 9% malted barley, or a lot of people call that the Green River mash bill. It was aged 6 years and 2 months and is lot code M3005. So I can't wait to open this up. I still have another older Sapsquatch still open, but Short Barrel Sapsquatch, Short Barrel, the Bee's Knees, these are bottles that I always look forward to and always pick them up. Like I said, I have two of these. I also have just a regular regular release directly from Short Barrel. I think a friend of mine who is part of their the Short Barrel Club, which for the life of me, I can't think of what that exclusive club is called right now. He ended up getting one because I think it's the same price for shipping, whether it's one bottle or two bottle. So he threw it out there if anyone wanted one, and he got me one. So this particular one that's directly from Short Barrel, it's 110 proof, so it's a little bit not as strong. And everything else is the same. 70-21-9 mash bill, New Kelvin medium toasted barrels, sourced from Kentucky, 5 to 6 years aged, 4 maple barrels and 2 double oak barrels. So Sapsquatch from Short Barrel. Let me know what you guys think in the comments on this, but this is one of my favorite bourbons out there. Sapsquatch, Bee's Knees, Short Barrel, big fan of Short Barrel. They're doing really cool stuff with what they have. All right, our next bottle is this Russel Reserve 13. This is a 2025 edition. And my understanding is, they used to have different batches. I think we went batch 1 through 6, and that was like from 2021 until 2024. But now in 2025, they moved over to a different laser coating. So this particular one is the Lane, or LANE 15E0744, and it says here 2025 0515. This is a really good bottle. I actually have like 5 of these. This is similar to like the Camp Nelson release, but this is not, far less superior or inferior to the 15. I'm really trying to get my hands on a Russell's Reserve 15, but I just haven't been able to make it happen yet. That's a very desirable bottle. So this one says, thoughtfully selected and intentionally crafted, this bourbon is a testament to the revered mastery of Eddie Russell, bottled in spring 2025. It says the master distillers are Jimmy Russell and Eddie Russell. 13 years old, barrel proof, non-chill filtered. This one comes at 123.8 proof. I think that's the highest proof from Russell's, if I understood correctly. Again, I'm not a historian, but that was my understanding. Generations of craft in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky, etc., etc. So like I said, I have multiple versions of this. I have this 2025 version. I have a batch 6 and I have a batch 5 from the previous style. And I think I have the batch 6 open. So, you know, it's a great bourbon. I mean, this is like a classic. You can't go wrong with Russell's Reserve. If you're drinking this, then you're drinking good stuff and you're in good hands. So let me know what you think of this Russell's Reserve 13. If you tried this specific 2025 version, do you notice much difference? And do you specifically seek a certain batch or maybe this one if you're in the mood for Russell's 13? All right, moving on to our last bottle. Here we have a 2024 edition of the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection Thomas H. Handy. So this is sort of, I like to look at this as like the entry level into the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection, because this is typically the easiest of those bottles, which are all hard to get. So easiest is relative here, but this is the easiest of those bottles to get, and it fetches the least amount on the secondary usually. However, there is some variance per year. This has been a line Buffalo Trace Antique Collection that has been around for a long time, so there's a lot of different years out for this Thomas H. Handy. But this is a 2024 edition. This one comes in at 127.2 proof or 63.6% alcohol by volume. It's a straight rye whiskey and it's a barrel proof limited edition. I'm a big fan of the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection. I'm a big fan of the Handies. I have a bunch of different ones, different years. Actually, my favorite bourbon of anything right now, and again, if you see a different video, I might have a different opinion, but like as of right now, October, November 2025, my favorite bourbon is the William LaRue Weller from the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection, 2024 edition. That's my favorite bourbon. Number 1, Tom's Bourbon. This Handy is also in that top 5 of some of my favorite bourbons. For the price and the scarcity, you know, this is a great option. Some of the things that it says here, let's see here. It's got a lot of stuff here written in the back. Thomas H. Handy Sazerac Straight Rye Whiskey, distilled, aged, and bottled by Buffalo Trace Distillery, Frankfort, Kentucky. It says here, in 1830, Thomas H. Handy was born in Maryland. Meanwhile, down in New Orleans, a number of saloons veiled as coffee houses began lining the streets of the French Quarter. A young man named Antoine Pichon Jr. began serving cocktails made with brandy and his secret family recipe for bitters. The cocktail became famous and was dubbed the Sazerac cocktail after the Sazerac Coffee House on Royal Street. In 1847, Thomas H. Handy arrived in New Orleans. He immediately went to work for John Schiller at a liquor store on Royal Street. Schiller eventually bought the Sazerac Coffee House, and Handy quickly became an expert barman, concocting fabulous Sazerac cocktails for his patrons. In 1869, Handy's friend and boss, John Schiller, died. Handy bought the coffee house and asked his friend Pichon to join him in business. It was a great age of coffee houses in New Orleans, and there was one on every corner. The New Orleans Times newspaper published an article stating, "The oldest and best known of the houses is the Sazerac." Thomas H. Handy was established and successful, but never content. In 1873, he altered the recipe for the Sazerac cocktail by replacing French brandy with American rye whiskey. Patrons preferred the taste of the rye whiskey over brandy because it was more robust and spicy. The whiskey had a bouquet of peppers and clove, and wonderful flavors including citrus and candied fruit. Thomas H. Handy Uncut and Unfiltered Straight Rye Whiskey is bottled directly from the barrel, just as it was over a century ago. Enjoy the authentic American rye whiskey as a symbol of the timeless history of New Orleans and legacy of Thomas H. Handy. So, again, if you're looking at Buffalo Trace Antique Collection, this is the most obtainable bottle. It's a great bottle, it's a great pour. I bring this out for all kinds of special occasions because, again, it's the easiest one to get. The next one is the George T. Stagg. Then after that, they get pretty hard, right? The Sazerac 18 is pretty hard to get. The William LaRue Weller is hard to get. And the Eagle Rare 17 is very hard to get. And they're very expensive. Those three typically are gonna be like either around 1,000 or over 1,000 easily. The Eagle Rare is always over 1,000. And obviously if you just go on Google right now and you Google Eagle Rare 17 or Sazerac 18, you probably won't even find any online store that has it, you know, less than 1,500 or 2,000. So, you know, they're pretty hard to get. But I just saw a liquor store the other day that had a deal that if you, an online liquor store from California, that if you bought a certain amount of money, then you could buy a Handy for $129. So, you know, depending on what you're doing, like I said, you know, you can get these at reasonable prices. So if you're looking for one of these, you know, keep looking because you'll end up crossing paths with them. And I highly recommend these. This is one of the, you know, one of my top bourbons right now, and has been for a while. So let me know in the comments what you think of Thomas H. Handy and the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection. Is it, you know, one of the top lines for you as well, like it is for me? And if you think differently, let me know why. Because I want to try different things. You know, I'm open to anything. So that's what this is all about for me. It's a journey, trying different things, and, you know, seeing exactly what I like. I didn't know that William LaRue Weller was going to be my favorite until I tried it, because it's very hard to get. But once I tried it, I got what the hype was about. Same thing with this. I didn't know I was really going to like this until I tried it. But once I tried it, I'm like, okay, I get what the hype is with this Thomas H. Handy. All right, that's going to go ahead and conclude our overview of the bottles we picked up in October 2025. Let me know what you guys think. Any of these bottles are things that you're looking to try or you already have? If so, let me know. What do you think? Are some of these that I hadn't opened yet? Should I even open them, or should I just move on? Let me know what you guys think. Help me out so that I don't waste my time and money, because obviously that's important to everyone. So with that, we thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next month in our next bourbon review for November 2025.